Hi, I'm Paris, and I just received in the mail my invitation to complete the 2020 census. It's an invitation to go online and fill out the form rather than the actual paper form you used to fill out answering all the questions. And this is a much more efficient way to do it, which saves everyone time and money. If you don't accept the invitation and you're sent a paper form, you don't fill it out and return it, they will send someone to your house to do the census in person, and these days especially, you don't want that. You don't want to be standing at your front door for 10 minutes answering questions with a stranger right in front of you, and I'm sure they don't want to have to come to your house, so let's all do the digital version. And if you haven't received your invitation yet or haven't filled out the paper form you were sent, I thought I'd go over the questions that are on the 2020 census. If you're not in the US, you may be curious to know what kind of questions we ask here. Now, my daughter is very excited to be helping out with answering the census. She's really excited about being counted, very politically active. She's not old enough to vote, but she has plenty of suggestions for her older sister on who she should be voting for this time around. Let's see how quick and easy we can make this. So on the homepage of my2020census.gov, you'll see that it should take about 10 minutes to complete the census questionnaire. It's safe, secure, and confidential. That billions of dollars hang in the balance because they're appropriated based on the population of different states and different areas, and to determine political representation in Congress and at your state and local level. You also need to know that you can't save it partway through and come back and complete it. You have to do it in one sitting, so make sure you have all the information you need, which you'll know what that information is once you finish watching this video. When you click Start Questionnaire, you'll be taken to this page to log in. Now, if you received a paper invitation, there will be a census ID code on that. You enter it here, and it basically ties it into your exact address. Otherwise, you notice right underneath the login button, it says if you do not have a census ID, click here. That takes you to a screen where you pick your location, and then you're led to put in your exact address, and then you can do the census the same as everyone else. So first out, they want the full name and phone number of the person filling out the form. Next, you notice there are household questions and people questions. The first of the household questions, they want to know, including yourself, how many people will be living or staying at this address on April 1st, 2020. And then you list the full names of each of the people who will be living or staying there. They do want to know whether you own the home with a mortgage or free and clear, or if you're renting, or if you are there not paying rent. Which of the people at the address actually own the home or apartment. Then they want to know gender of each person, and to try to make it clear-cut, it's biological sex at birth. Then you fill in your birthday, and they tell you how old they think you'll be on April 1st. Then comes the Hispanic origin question. If the answer is no, you're not of Hispanic origin, you're done. If the answer is yes, they'd like more information, whether you consider yourself Mexican, Mexican-American, Chicano, Puerto Rican, Cuban, or another Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin. Then, separate from that previous question, they want to know your race. If you put in white, they would like to know what your ethnicity, where your family came from. German, Irish, English. In my case, it's mostly Irish and English. I just filled out English because that's the predominant number. Then there's Black or African American, and they'd like to know where your family comes from. Then there's American Indian or Alaska Native. Is there a tribe that your family's a member of or associated with? Then there's Chinese, Filipino, Asian Indian, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, other Asian, Native Hawaiian, Samoan, Chamorro, other Pacific Islander, or some other race, and you get to fill in the box. Then, to help make sure they don't count anyone twice, they want to make sure that the people that you listed as at this address don't usually live or stay somewhere else. And with that, you've answered all the questions. Now all you need to do is submit your questionnaire. If there's something you want to go back and double check, you can edit it here. And then you're done. They do give you a confirmation code. I saved it as a PDF. It does list the address that you filled out the form for and the day and time that you filled it out. So should you need to show someone, hey, I really did fill out the form, this would count as evidence of that. And that's it. You're done for another 10 years. You notice there are no questions in there asking about income, of course not asking social security number. No questions about occupation, which sort of surprised me. I seem to remember on a previous census answering that question, but maybe I'm just thinking of doing my genealogy. They used to ask a lot more questions. They wanted to know the household income, and they wanted to know the occupations of everyone who lived there. They're not asking those questions now. They're also not asking the citizenship question, nor any questions about political affiliations. They want to know who lives at the address, names, birthdays, ethnicities, and relationships, and then if someone who lives there owns the property. And that's pretty much it. Far less invasive than previous censuses have been, but also it'll be less fun 72 years from now when this census becomes public and people can look in the records and actually see your name and what address you lived at 72 years before. Looking at census records has been a great genealogical tool. I've learned so much about my ancestors years back, but I don't know if my great-great-grandkids years in the future, when they look at the census, will really get that much useful information. But if in 72 years YouTube is still around, they may be able to learn more about me than they ever wanted to know.